the last 2 years, we've been inundated with, I think last year I had 41 great horned owl babies. This year, so far, I've got 52. Part of that is because the state and federal are messing with us. Our big facility down in Coachella has been shut down for not entirely their fault, but they went away. Wild Wings in San Dimas was closed down, which was their fault. They're looking at all of the older rehabbers like I am, who do it on our property. And of course, we do not get reimbursed for this by state or federal. In fact, they charge us to do what we do, to keep our licenses up. So it's, with them snipping off all of our rehabbers that we have that have been networking and cooperating all these years, has thrown the load basically on us, on my team. I think this year I've put out so far $7,000 since the first owls started coming in. 52 great horned owl babies, 12 barn owls, and right now the third one just came in, 3 red-tailed hawk babies. It's overwhelming, and I don't mean to imply that all of this is to do with tree trimming. It's not. There are a multitude of reasons that they come out of the nest.
What are the reasons that they come out of the nest?
Weather is one thing. Some of the nests have been there, they'll go back to the same nest year after year after year. They add to them, build them up a little bit, but if we have high winds, which we've had, or a lot of rain, which we've had tons of, that tends to destabilize the nest. Sometimes they're not too bright about where they put their nest or how they build it. So they'll come down because of that. Another reason is we've had lots of rain the last couple of years. All the greenery's growing more, so we have more rodents. And so there's more food. Mother Nature goes, okay, have at it. Have your babies, have bunches of them. There's plenty to feed them. Trouble is, you start getting larger nest full of babies, and they get pushed out by the siblings or they get cannibalized, which is not nice, but it happens. It's Mother Nature. So there are a multitude of reasons, but the one that is kind of in our control more than anything else would be to not trim during breeding season and baby season. Edison hates me. They do. They come on my property cautiously when they come. I have huge deodar trees, probably 50 some odd of them, and they've learned over the years.
Explain where you live as well, though.
Yeah, well, I'm in Oak Glen, so, but they know they don't come on my property between September and March. I mean, they can come between September and March. After March, don't even pull your truck in my driveway, because it gets ugly. So, I mean, it's just to the naked eye, it's really easy to see where the birds are, how many there are, especially in the type of trees that I have. As far as Redlands, one of the big things right now that we've been getting complaints on are the palm trees. Orioles, kestrels, barn owls, great horned owls, screech owls, red-shouldered hawks, all nest in the palm trees. 50 million songbirds, the little guys, all nest in there also. We haven't had, usually it's been odd this past year, for the first time we've seen the great horned owls nesting in the palm trees. Usually that's a barn owl thing, but for some reason the great horned owls are doing that now also. So we've got the photos where they've stripped the palms back and here sits a baby on this little edge of what's left from taking out the fronds. in Redlands with all your oak trees, we've got the prized fluffy tail squirrels. I mean, down on Highland, they put up the signs, you know, watch when you're driving, because squirrels are crossing. People in Redlands love their fluffy tails. Redlands is, you know, it's a treasure. The Victorian homes are wonderful. The trees that are here that goes with all of that are wonderful. Very similar to Pasadena, Claremont. Those cities have really strong interactive tree ordinances that they really watch closely. It would be good if Redlands could follow suit and take a little more control with it. When a tree trimmer tells you, we hear it all the time, oh, we check the trees, we have an arborist, we check the trees before we trim. Get real, take a look at the palm fronds. You can tell me you can check that and tell what's up there? You can't, it's not possible. Not until the damage is done.
Where do they nest? Higher up or what?
From where the palm fronds are at the bottom of the skirts, all the way up. The Orioles do like a little woven basket nest, and they'll hang it wherever they can hang it up in there. So the majority of it all will be within those fronds, and
The dead ones, the dead fronds that hang down.
yeah, the ones that need to be trimmed off. The barn owls are funny. They are a little, and so are the screech owls. They're cavity nesters. Mm-hmm. So that's why barn owl boxes work great for people in their yards. And I never have quite understood why they go into the palm trees, but that's one of their favorite places to go. So if I get people that say, I have a baby barn owl on the ground, I'll ask what kind of a tree, and I know what it is. I'll ask them, do you have palm trees? Oh yeah. So as they get trimmed, you can see there's a little ledge up in there, which is usually covered, which would make it a cavity. So that's what they do. They go right on in, and that's where they have those babies.
It's called a balcony. It's called a balcony.
A balcony.
Yeah, yeah. So, so this past week, we were contacted by a tree trimmer. Where was he? What town?
Wrightwood.
Okay, in Wrightwood. We usually don't go that far out. Marsha got the call. He had come across, was it crows or ravens?
4 ravens in a nest.
Yeah, and he called her. He reached out and said he wanted to try to save them. So she agreed to meet him halfway in order to save those babies.
Well, I will say, not to interrupt.
No, go.
Normally, I would not meet halfway to Wrightwood for those. Like, I would do that for something that people are fearful of. You know, an adult raccoon, a coyote, a bobcat, owls, hawks, eagles, but not ravens. But because he worked for a tree service, and I said, I want to thank you for not putting them in the chipper, because I know that happens. We've been told this. He straight up said it happens all the time, and I'm not doing that. And I said, for that reason, I will meet you halfway if you promise to always give me what you come across. I will make that effort. So, I get 15 miles to the gallon in my Jeep. So, you know, it's gonna cost me $40 to go pick those up. But I'll go get them because you did the right thing. So
it's basically, it boils down to when you trim, and if we can control that. It'll save us a lot. In my post on social media, I've got a picture of when we first started getting the calls of body parts laying it looks like it was probably a barn owl, that remnants that were left, a young one, down at the bottom of one of the trees. Not positive that was from tree trimming, but yeah, they just trimmed, so that would be my best guess. So we'd like to, whatever you guys can do. Leslie.
It doesn't cost you anything to change when you do it. There's no reason not to stop. You know, it's not like there's a financial burden for the city by just pushing the trimming off to the right season. I mean, that's the bottom line. I know usually things are about money. The simple answer is, it doesn't cost any money to do the right thing.
So the
That's-
right
that's really
season
the
would
bottom
be
Anytime,
May,
like the end of September, ideally to no later in the year than the end of February, really. And in this region, it'd be different if we were in a different area, but in Southern California, you can trim trees in those seasons and it's not bad for the tree. There's really no reason not to push the schedule.
well, I think we trimmed pretty close to that.
Right now, trimming is going on like mad on
Oh, I
every
thought we were
street.
done.
Nope.
Well, it started in when our baby season started is when your tree trimming started, literally.
In March.
Yeah, and that's when they started dropping. I mean, I could go back and show you pictures and text messages just from when I started getting calls. And it actually did start right when the tree trimming
Right in
started.
March.
And what's sad is we've gotten birds from all surrounding cities that have come, dropped from trees. And ironically, not one from Redlands. And
Just
you
five
can't
others.
tell me all these trees that have been trimmed in Redlands has not had one animal. And when I say that, I mean squirrels, crows, ravens, hawks, all birds. No animal has come from this tree trimming. And there's no way possible to not have an oops. No way possible.
So they're doing, and it's notorious, we've been told by Fish and Wildlife, who we work closely with, that if they get a call, somebody reports somebody trimming on a tree that they shouldn't be for what, there's a nest in the top, there's a hawk nest, you can absolutely see it. It's an active nest. If somebody approaches the tree trimmers and says, stop, don't do that, we're calling, you can guarantee by the time Fish and Wildlife get out there,
They're gone.
the tree's down. It's done. Because they know they make their money that way, I get it. But that's not right. We did have an incident in Beaumont. I couldn't be more impressed. Really tall tree on Pennsylvania Avenue, and they were going up Pennsylvania Avenue and putting in new sidewalks. And so we were alerted by the property owner that the tree was on, that there was an active nest in the top. So I took my grandson out with his drone, we flew it up over the nest, sure enough, a nest full of babies, red-tailed babies at the top. So I called the city and spoke with the person that was in charge of the trees and all of that. I couldn't believe they did what they did. They absolutely stopped the trimming. They said, do not take that tree. They were, cutting them literally down. Did not take the tree, left it alone. He said my wife would kill me if we did that. So when I went back a couple months later, they literally had taken their sidewalk and put it around the tree and then kept going. And that tree is still there with the nest in the top because they will come back every year. So that impressed me. They understood it, they got it. And I didn't think they would. I thought it helped that I had the Fish and Wildlife guy with me when we were meeting there, but that was good, and that was heartwarming and hopeful. So, but we did bring, stupid cane.
It is illegal to cut
Yes.
from March to September, technically. If there's an active nest in a tree, it is against the law. It's a federal law. It's part of the Migratory Bird Act.
Can you email me a copy of that?
Absolutely. Do you have email there?
I'll give it to you.
Okay.
Is that him or
Is it
that-
this?
Yeah, it's on there.
Is it on this? Leslie, is it on this?
Yeah, I think it is.
This is what
The law.
Linda wrote. Oh yeah, it's right here.
Yeah, it's on that. It's on that handout.
Poop when it came out.
Does that thing look prehistoric or what?
I've got two of these in here.
Ugly
This is
baby.
Big Barn Owl.
How does Mama love them?
And
Only mother.
we've had him probably 2 weeks, I think. So He's still really, really ugliest babies in the world.
They are.
Guaranteed.
That's a hawk.
That's a barn owl.
It's a barn owl.
That's a baby. Show the baby screech. He's just starting to get his feathering.
Watch this baby screech.
In you go.
How come you didn't wear gloves and I gotta wear rubber gloves?
I know. Nobody was shaking my
Candy,
Yes,
she wants a picture.
Oh, okay.
We want a picture with you holding the little guy.
Oh, I'm gonna let Marsha hold them, so get pictures with her, 'cause she's got her gloves.
Do you want me to go run and get your gloves?
I
Go
have
get your gloves?
rubber gloves, Candy.
That's okay,
I
you can
come
do the
prepared.
pictures.
So this one is a baby great horn.
I hate that sound. Sounds like a rattlesnake.
Now that's a hoot owl.
It's the ones you hear out
That's
at night
my
where they're
babies.
hooting away. It's one of these guys.
I went to pick up a box today, they had two of them.
Marsha.
These are about the same age as this one, but they're screech owls. So they look like a miniature great horn, but they're like 6 inches at full growth.
And they're all around Redlands. I know the hoot owls are.
They're all, these came from Redlands. So, yeah, there's 2 of them.
Let's take a long way around.
You can't have it.
Tell him how many mice he ate.
He's right there.
Well, a red-tailed hawk baby, a red-tailed hawk will take, a large rat a day. So we figure we have them for 2 to 3 months, depending. And this one will probably eat, 6 to 7 mice, good-sized mice. It's probably at this size.
Somebody's gonna have to say, can you take a picture of my turkey?
Yeah.
You better stay down during Thanksgiving.
That sealed the deal right there.
I know we've got a pair of hawks there.
How big is he? Okay, and I don't have my gloves.
I do.
Somebody
Can
brought-
you get them?
That's
Yep,
all right.
run and get them for
I
me.
don't wanna tie them up too much longer.
You know what, there's one more thing I wanted to add because I know that they didn't. So for Kandie, she takes the raptors, the owls, the hawks, that stuff. Lesllie does all the mammals, the squirrels, the raccoons, the possums, the ravens, all the songbirds. She gets all of that. So what Kandie's put out of her pocket isn't what I put out of my pocket in gas or supplies. It isn't what our retired vet that works with us puts out in medical supplies. That I was there, that burned owl that's been posted. I don't know if anybody saw it, it came. So we have possession of that owl and I brought it to her and it's on medication and filtered air and all that stuff. So that doesn't cover that, nor does any that she's mentioned recover her costs as well. She's out of pocket about the same.
Well, last year, I know it was $22,000.
So, and that's just out of everybody's own pocket, no reimbursements. So,
Do you have a facility anywhere in Redlands, around?
no, but we work very close with Redlands Animal Control. All 3 of us have a really good, yeah, we all have each other's personal cell phones. We work really, I picked up an owl there the other day, and when I got there, one of the animal control officers wasn't there, and the box said, "Love you, Marsha," and then she said, "Caitlin."
That fuzzy little one I showed you, this is what he's gonna be. This one is young, because he's got a really short tail.
That's okay, I'll clean it up. Is that a barn owl?
That's a barn owl. And these are the Probably, they occupy your palm trees more than any of the other birds.
And this guy will eat himself a rat a day. You know, Redlands rats are notorious for being such
From
an
all the
issue.
orange groves.
And imagine when this guy has a nest full of babies, and you guys are just getting rid of your best pest control right there.
Yeah, well, people would used to ask me, they'd call and they go, I've got a. Okay. This is probably a female, and I can tell because she's got speckles on her chest, and she's a little bit more honey colored in the face. The males are much
Don't look
whiter.
at me, I didn't do it.
Okay, goodbye.
Yeah, they've cleaned up my entire yard. They were in the attic, the basement, and they're gone.
Well, people would call me and say, I've got this screech owl, I need to get it out of here. And I'm going, no, it won't be a screech owl, but it's screeching. I said, no, that's a barn owl, that's what they do. Breeding season, whatever, that's what they do. If you put up a barn owl box, don't put it near your bedroom, that won't work. So then they would say, oh, I want it out of here, it's loud. And I'm going, would you prefer the barn owl screeching or the rough rats? And they go, what? And I'm going, they're there to eat the rough rats that you have that come out of
I will 100%
the IV wherever. So they're wonderful,
I'd be happy to send you pictures.
obnoxious and loud, but wonderful.
We find a lot of rats in palm trees too, so I wonder if that's why they
Yes,
live there.
yes.
We find a lot of rats
Yeah.
in there.
Very much.
So, that's how they stay once they're cut, which you can see it's hard for them to stay up there. So, okay, I'm gonna stop talking. Sorry, they didn't take up all the time.
You never stop talking. Anyway, we really, truly, from the bottom of our hearts, appreciate you listening to us,
For sure.
hearing our end of it, and,
And
yeah.
don't get me wrong, I love all these guys and I love to get to work with them and touch them, but there's just so many that we don't need to touch, you know? So.
You may turn the rat loose now.
What? What?
Turn the rat loose.
Oh, jeez.
I thought,
Okay, Mr.
oh,
Peterman.
it took me a minute. I'm like, wait, what rat? We didn't bring one.
You said bring a prop.
You're the prop.
Okay, we have another speaker. I was looking for, I wanted to make sure, so Kandie does the raptors. C-A-N-D-I?
K-A-N-D-I-E,
K-A-N-D-I-E, what's your last name?
Cansler, C-A-N-S-L-E-R.
You do the raptors. There was a thing on PBS on them. And your name was?
Marsha. Sadler, S-A-D-L-E-R.
S-I-D-L-E-R?
S is in Sam, A-D-L-E-R, yeah.
And you do the, you said the songbirds.
No, Leslie does the songbirds, the raccoons, the possums.
What's Leslie's last name?
Triplett, T-R-I-P-L-E-T-T, right on that card in front of you.
Okay. And you do the squirrels.
Mammals and songbirds. Pardon?
What some of ours, I've got so many, they're driving me up a wall.
Leslie is located on Oakland Road, same as I am, only she's on the other side of the hill. She's in Cherry Valley and has Pondere Ranch Wildlife Rehabilitation, and it's a neat place. And if I'm not available or Marsha's not available, folks, you know, they have her number, they can call and drop off to her, and then we network it between us.
We all work super close together.
Well, I need somebody's email so that, you know, if we need questions for an article or anything, can I send it to you so you can proofread it?
I'll email you, and then you'll have all of our emails.
Okay.
I'll just email her, because I have her email
Okay,
address
well,
right
thank
there.
you.
And then I'll make sure you get pictures,
Yes, yes.
for sure.
Do you need people to foster care?
We really need to just quit trimming the trees. And honestly, that's what we need. Yeah, so, we're always looking for help, but,
Absolutely,
Do you have a place to send money?
yes.
yes,
Send me that, cause I'll donate some.
Ah, that's very nice. And very much appreciated.
for sure.
Okay.
Okay.
And you have a,
Yeah, I have a quick comment, Chris. Full disclosure, I'm Linda Richards' husband. Just a short story. We inherited a home in Morro Bay a couple years ago. It was about, it had about a 60-year-old avocado tree, Haas avocado in the back, about a third to 40% dead, and it was compromising our neighbor's sewer system, so it needed to come out. About this time last year, maybe the year before, we approached a couple of tree service companies, got 2 bids. Both of them said, we cannot trim this tree this time of year. We have to wait till after the nesting
them.
season.
Good for them.
This is Morro Bay.
Wow.
It's a community that's probably a fraction of the size of Redlands. And it has probably a 5% of the tree canopy that Redlands has. And both of these tree service companies said, we cannot take that old tree out until after the nesting season. So I am here to just please the city of Redlands, set a standard, set the standard and do something about tree trimming during the nesting season. We should be setting the standard, the city should be. And I just don't think it's an insurmountable problem. But we see it year after year after year, and doing nothing and expecting a different result, it's not working. So I hope you please defer the tree trimming season till after the nesting season.
well, our mayor is here tonight, so hopefully we can, get something going. We will look into that.
How
So,
soon,
and-
would- I'm sorry, Brenda Day, how soon would we know if there's a change in the trimming dates?
Well, we've been talking about this a lot, and so, right now, just so you know, we've stopped trimming palms, we're not trimming more palms, for this season. West Coast Arborist is our contractor, and we actually had a big meeting with them yesterday with, the area manager, his boss, and their boss, who's the guy over the, pretty much most of Southern California. And, he reassured us that because of the nesting issue the past couple of years, I think they started 2 years ago with all of their, trimmers having an on-site certified, nest checker or something like that. So, I'm sorry, I don't know the exact term.
A biologist.
Well, he has biologists, but these people are certified by the biologist.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so, we asked them to stop trimming palms. They don't trim palms anymore. They have, I think, 2 or 3 lists that they're trying to finish up on that we had in the queue. And all of those, they're doing nesting checks on all of those before, but those aren't palm trees, they're like, just regular trees. And a lot of them are like, smaller species like liquid ambers, maple trees, that kind of stuff. So we're just trying to finish out this part of what's left of the nesting season. And we've talked already about reevaluating the whole process moving forward into the nesting season. So there will be a change. We can't talk about we don't know what exactly it looks like right now, but we're gonna.
And if I leave you a couple extra cards, can you make sure they get those?
Sure,
So
sure.
in the event,
Yeah.
finishing out this year, going forward, next year, hopefully not during this time,
Right.
but we don't know. So they can call any of us at any given time, and whatever they come across will get picked up.
And they do have, I think he said 2 or 3 on-staff biologists. And he said I think for Claremont right now, they're doing a project where they have 500 trees to do, and their biologist is actually checking off each tree before they go into it. So that's something that we might explore as well, because it would be, it definitely would be worth it in the long run, right?
Right.
Also, I did want to share when you were speaking, you reminded me of something last year they were trimming up on. We have a street in town called Ridge, and it's lined with eucalyptus they were about 9,500 feet tall. And over the summer previous that, we lost 2 or 3 big limbs, and they're huge limbs. They took out some fences, and I think one landed on a car. So we had to do a crown reduction on it. And there was one tree out there that they found that was a bird of prey. I think it was a hawk. And so they skipped the tree, and because they're aware also that they're return nesters, and they were aware. They were informing us. They said you can't even you have to actually move that platform to a whole different tree if you wanna, you know, trim it. So I know they're cognizant of it, I know they're concerned about it, I definitely will share the information with them. And again, we're moving forward, we wanna definitely work in the right direction with them, and, you know, change it up, so it'll be different next year, we should.
I gave them all yours.
Well, and I do know in San Bernardino, and I don't know whether it's through the county or what it is, but there are areas where we've talked to people, they go on Facebook and they go, I need, who's a good tree trimmer, we need it, and it's like this time of year, and we're going, no, and they're going, we don't have a choice. We've been issued orders either through Edison or through somebody with the county who is saying, you have to trim that tree, usually a palm, now, you cannot wait.
We did get 3 burnouts that way.
Yeah, and they, you know, they're mortified because now they realize why they shouldn't do it right now, but it's become a legal issue. So now, maybe we need to target us.
Yeah, Edison has some legal line clearance proximities that they, you know, that would be a tough one for them.
Yeah.
We definitely can pivot, for sure. You know,
Yeah.
And that's where we're moving.
That's it, we appreciate
Yeah,
this
no
very
problem. We
much.
appreciate you guys coming through and, you know, keeping on with the education, so.
Or is there something like Edison does notify you when they do trim trees, right?
Yeah, they give us notification, yeah, but I think
Is there a way, like in town, that we can make sure that,
we can probably, when we augment our trimming to, you know, coincide with what the nesting season, we can definitely share our new parameters with them. And I'm sure Edison, I can't speak to other cities, they've always been really good with us, you know, when they do those, so we'll definitely, you know, do a cooperative with them and let them know it. Again, legally, I can't speak to what they're bound to legally, but we can definitely give them all our information on what we're, you know, doing.
well, is there a way that they can kind of keep in touch and learn what we're gonna do, or if we can do anything, if there's someplace they could look online and see what,
Edison?
come up, no, what does come from?
For the city.
Yeah.
Keep going that way.
Well, and yeah, what we'll do, like I said, we have contacts over there, and we'll just share, we'll look.
But I met with these people.
Oh, yeah, for sure, yeah, we can definitely, yeah, that's the plan. Never for you guys, so we have all that.
And Linda knows how to get a hold of me, so.
Yeah.
Maybe when I email you, you can email Kandie.
I'll forward it on. Okay, well, anybody else?
Tree trimmers are aware of the animal. My neighbor, a couple of houses down, had a huge tree trimmed, and they did a pretty good job, but on top, they left the net. I saw that. So I don't know who did it, but
That's good,
I think that some of them are aware of that.
that's good.
Linda Richards?
I'm gonna take off my reporter hat and speak as a concerned citizen and a former street tree committee person. Last time you guys came, we developed this brochure, and they used to be at the front desk for residents, and the hope was that some of the tree trimmers, the private tree trimmers, would get copies of this. I have gone around and given them at times, and West Coast is always good, they are aware. I'm impressed with West Coast, but when I talk to other tree trimmers, they don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So I would really hope all of you, anybody who cares about this issue, would be giving these out to any tree trimmers. They say, have these available. If you print them right, that they open up and you can read it all in one section there, but, I'm sad that nothing has really been done with these.
And Linda, since we now have the electronic copies, we might have before, but we can add it to, there's some things we're gonna add to our website anyways, so you can add that link on there as well.
Okay, it's on the website. We have it on there.
Okay, good, okay, I'll make sure that, cause I know our website can be a little confusing.
Don't they need a business permit from the city? The tree service
Yeah,
company?
yeah, and we chased that whole item around so often, you know, when we catch people, we inform them they need to have a business license to operate even on private property. Where we ran into the cat and mouse game is that it's so easy for these people to, you know, stop practicing, change the name, and come back out, and then it's, you know, it starts all over again. But the ones that we come across that we, you know, because usually we get involved because they start trimming, and it happens probably 3 or 4 times a year, where they'll start trimming on a city tree, a tree with a city easement, and then someone in the neighborhood will call us, and I'll go out there, and what I do is I get their information, I get pictures of the actual, you know, signs on the truck or whatever. I inform them first of all, what they need to operate in the city easement, and then what they need to operate even in the city at all. you know, and usually ones that I talk with, because I get so much of the information, like their actual names and people on site, those ones usually follow up and actually close the loop with us, you know, with getting the stuff, the proper, you know, permits or, yeah. And we, you know, the committee can tell you, Linda probably remembers from being on the committee too, there's just so many of them in the city that, you know, pop up and go in and pop up and go in.
I was just wondering if there's you know, along with the permitting process, this gets attached or this information.
I guess we could revenue, they use a third party, they use an outside, you know, agency now, but I know that, you know, they've used that same company now for, you know, a year and a half, something like that. I can let the revenue manager know and see if that's something if they wouldn't mind, you know, even if it's just the link or something like that, kinda, you know, distribute that information. Doesn't hurt to ask them.
Okay, anybody else? Well, thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for having
for
us.
listening. This is
Thank you.
great.
I'm happy to see what I have been protecting for a year.
I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you for your show.